Okay, let's just jump right in. We've all heard it a million times in business, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. But what if that's just flat out wrong? Today, we're going to dig into an idea that completely flips that old saying on its head. Why staying small might actually be the smartest thing you can do for your business.
So get this, the author, Paul Jarvis, is out surfing with his accountant one day. It's August, and his accountant just casually drops this bombshell. He'd already hit his financial goal for the entire year and just decided to stop. Yep, no more chasing clients, no hiring, no stress. He was just done. And that one conversation is really the spark for this whole different way of thinking.
I mean, this is the mantra we hear everywhere, isn't it? It's literally baked into our business culture. Growth is treated as the one and only sign of success. But when you look at the actual data, it tells a very, very different story.
Check out this number because it's a real wake-up call. An Inc. magazine study decided to follow 5,000 fast-growing companies. So what happened 8 years later? Well, more than 2/3 of them were either completely out of business, had to do massive layoffs, or were sold for way less than they were worth. It turns out that chasing growth for them led them right off a cliff.
And if you think that's bad, it gets even more specific. Another study looked at over 3,000 high-growth startups and found that a staggering 74% of them failed. And you know why? One simple reason. They scaled up way too fast. It wasn't a bad idea that killed them. It wasn't the competition. It was their own reckless pursuit of just getting bigger. So what's the alternative to all this madness? Well, it's what Paul Jarvis calls a company of one. And let's be super clear here. This isn't just for solo entrepreneurs. A business could have 5, 10, even 20 people and still have this philosophy. The whole point is that it's a mentality. It's about questioning growth at every single turn and focusing on being better, not just bigger. Okay, so how do you actually do this? To really embrace this way of thinking, you have to make 3 fundamental shifts in how you see your business. Think of this as the framework that's going to protect you from that beast of unchecked growth. Let's break them down. First up is the biggest, most fundamental shift of all, choosing to prioritize quality and profitability over just raw scale. It's about being absolutely amazing at what you do, but for a smaller, more dedicated group of people who love you for it. I want you to picture your business having 2 water taps. You've got the rapid growth tab, and you've got the profit tap. Now, if you crank that growth tap on full blast for way too long, kind of like Uber did for years, losing money hand over fist, you might find that when you finally go to turn on the profit tap, only a few drops come out, or maybe nothing at all. So a company of one just plays a totally different game. The focus from day one is on higher profit margins. It's about knowing a smaller customer base inside and out and solving their core problems in really smart, creative ways. You do this by leveraging amazing low-cost tools like Shopify or finding expert help on platforms like Fiverr without bloating your overhead. This really flips the whole Silicon Valley model on its head. The goal isn't to burn through a ton of cash hoping for some massive exit down the road. It's to build a business that's so lean and sustainable that you're actually making a profit on your 10th sale, not your 10,000th. All right, let's move on to the second big shift. This is all about valuing the customers you already have, way more than the ones you don't. It's a move from just chasing new leads to actually building lasting relationships. I absolutely love this analogy from the book. You can think of mass marketing as being like a pickup artist. It's all about the short-term conquest, the quick win, the one-night stand. But a company of one, it's trying to build a lifelong relationship, and it does that through education and building real trust. So how do you build that kind of trust? It really boils down to 2 things. First, you have to show you know your stuff. That's your competence. And second, you have to show you truly understand your customers' problems. That's empathy. A great example is the mattress company Casper. Before they ever tried to sell a single mattress, they started an online publication called Pillow Talk, all about the science of sleep. They educated people first. Now, when you build that trust, your customers literally become your unpaid sales force. But here's the thing, look at this gap. A study from Texas Tech found that while a huge 83% of happy customers say they're willing to refer you, only 29% ever actually do. That is a massive, massive missed opportunity just sitting there. The key is to make referring you dead simple. You just have to give them a little nudge.
A simple follow-up email a week after they buy something, maybe with some pre-written links they can share, can literally double your referrals. Or you could offer two-sided incentives, where both they and their friend get a nice little discount. It works. And that brings us to our final, and honestly, maybe the most personal shift of all. This is about choosing autonomy, the life you actually want to live, over the ego boost that comes from running a big, flashy company. Let's be real for a second. Growth feeds our ego, right? Having a bigger company, more employees, more revenue, it feels good. But that feeling has a hidden cost. More people to manage, more problems to solve, and way less time and freedom for yourself. You might finally have the money for that amazing vacation, but you spend the whole time on your phone putting out fires back at the office. This quote from James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, is just a total game changer. He says, don't start with a business idea and then try to cram your life into the leftovers. Instead, start by asking, what kind of life do I want to live? And then work backwards from there to design a business model that actually serves that life. And Clear didn't just talk the talk, he walked the walk. He set 2 hard rules for his own business. First, all his products had to be things like digital courses that were automated and didn't need a lot of his ongoing time. And second, he would only do one-time consulting gigs, no ongoing retainers. Why? These rules protected his most valuable asset, his time to think, research, and write. So as we start to land this plane, it really all comes down to a very personal question. You see, the whole company of one idea isn't some rigid blueprint you have to follow. It's really just a prompt for you to reflect on what you truly want out of your business and your life. I want to leave you with this final warning from Paul Jarvis because it really gets to the heart of this entire idea. Growth is a beast, and if you ever stop questioning whether you really need it, you run the risk of that beast devouring you and your entire business. So I'll leave you with this. Forget what society tells you success should look like. Forget the endless, exhausting chase for more, more, more. The single most powerful question you can ask yourself in business and probably in life is simply this: what does enough actually look like for you?